Imagine falling asleep peacefully and never waking up again. No screams, no warning, just silence. In 1986, this happened to 1,246 people in Cameroon, Africa. This is the story of Lake Nyos, the killer lake that killed an entire region in a matter of minutes. August 21st, 1986, around 9:30 p.m. Lake Nyos was a tranquil volcanic crater lake surrounded by small villages. Suddenly, residents heard a dull rumble, like muffled thunder. Some saw a fountain of water gush from the lake, creating a white mist that rose 100 meters into the air. But that mist wasn't water. It was pure carbon dioxide, 1.6 million tons of deadly gas. And here's the terrifying detail. CO2 is heavier than air. Instead of rising and dispersing, the cloud flowed like an invisible river through the valleys, hugging the ground, silently entering every house, reaching speeds of up to 50 kilometers per hour. Anyone who breathed the gas simply passed out and died within seconds, painlessly without realizing it. The CO2 drove all the oxygen from the air within a 25-kilometer radius. The next morning, when first responders arrived, they found an apocalyptic scene. 1,146 people dead, 3,500 head of livestock dead, every bird, insect, and animal dead. The silence was absolute. There was not a single sound of life. The bodies were intact, with no signs of violence. Mothers held babies. People sat at the dinner table. Others slept in their beds. As if time had simply stopped. Joseph Nquain, a survivor who lived 6 kilometers from the lake, reported, "I woke up to a strong smell. I heard my daughter scream. I tried to get up and passed out. When I woke up hours later, my family was dead." The silence was deafening. But what caused this? Scientists around the world rushed to investigate. At first, they thought it was a terrorist attack or a chemical leak. Locals spoke of a curse. The truth was even more frightening. Lake Nyos sits atop a pocket of volcanic magma that constantly releases CO2. For decades, the gas accumulated at the bottom of the lake, dissolved in the water under high pressure. Think of a giant soda bottle being shaken for 50 years. On August 21st, something destabilized this equilibrium, possibly a rock slide or a sudden change in temperature. The lake's deep layers, saturated with CO2, rose explosively to the surface. With the pressure reduced, the gas was released all at once, like opening a bottle of champagne that's been shaken too much. Scientists have called this limnic inversion, when the layers of a lake turn upside down. Worse still, analyses showed that the lake continued to accumulate dangerously high levels of CO2. Another disaster could happen at any moment. It was a ticking underwater time bomb. In 1995, engineers implemented a brilliant solution. Giant tubes installed at the bottom of the lake, acting like straws that suck up deep water saturated with CO2. As this water rises through the tube, the pressure decreases and the gas is released in a controlled manner, creating effervescent fountains 50 meters high. The most incredible thing? The system is self-sustaining. The rising CO2 itself creates enough pressure to keep the flow running 24 hours a day without the need for external energy. Today, several of these tubes operate continuously, slowly releasing the deadly gas and keeping the lake safe. The population gradually returned to the region. CO2 vents still gush day and night, a constant reminder of both the tragedy and the solution. Lake Nyos taught us that nature can harbor completely invisible and silent dangers, but it also showed that human engineering can transform a deadly threat into safety, literally transforming death into sources of life. Today, at least 40 volcanic lakes around the world are monitored to prevent another tragedy like this from happening. Science doesn't just explain the world, it literally saves lives.